Hey there, Amplifiers. Kenny Harper here, and we have a real awesome guest today, Gil Ostrick, and I'm glad that he's been able to carve out a little of his time to join us and share some actionable insights with us. And without further ado, Gil, welcome to Growth Amplifiers.
Thank you, Ken. So my name is Gil Ostrick. I'm a CPA and a certified valuation analyst. And I do mostly business valuations. And I'm associated with Weiss Accountancy, where I help them perform their business valuation needs. And I have my own consulting practice. So what makes me unique is I was CFO of some small companies, corporate controller of a publicly held company doing, in today's world, about $600 million with 10 operating divisions. So I always came across actionable paradigms where you needed to shift in order to turn around the company, make an underperforming company performing. And the whole goal is no surprises, no exposure, and the best asset management possible. And the only way to do this is to know your strengths and weaknesses. Okay. And you do that by assessing your risks and your key personnel and your operating processes. And the best way to go about it is to review your management reports to see how your business is going forward. In other words, you always look at your open orders. You always look at your delivery dates. You always look at your deliverables. Can you deliver in time? You always try to coordinate with the sales force and everybody else so you're communicating as one company for the benefit of the customer. And it's only that way that you could be efficient and effective. Effective means that you have the right product for the right audience, making the right margins, because you have a unique value, which is marketing, branding, because you have a sustainable edge where you beat your competition and your customers know it. And that's why they pay a premium price for your deliverables, to enhance their value, and they gladly pay you without receivable disputes for invoices that they're not willing to pay. Everything is very transparent and well communicated inside the firm and with their customers. So outside of the strengths and weaknesses of the company, by reviewing their financial statements, comparing it to industry ratios for return on assets, return on equity, return on sales, gross profit margin, overhead analysis. You try to be liquid by turning your receivables as fast as possible, by managing your receivables so you're not servicing or sending product to customers who are not paying your bill for whatever reason. And then if you have an inventory, it's the same thing. You have to know your costing, you know how to manage your inventory and when to buy, so you never have too much inventory and you always have enough to ship on time and ship your deliverables. So the one thing that I always ask my customers, that you always have to be innovative. New product, adopt new services, new products, especially during COVID. In terms of the rebound, plan to rebound, you have to have a definitive plan, which is cash flow projections, profit and loss projections, so you know how liquid you are, and you know what it takes to invest in new equipment, R&D, and have sufficient working capital to bill for your services or your product. And then the last thing is risk factors. You always have to manage your risk. You can't have a concentration of too few big customers. Supply side, the same thing. If you only have like 3-4 vendors in China and you have a dispute, that could go south very quickly. The same thing with a sales force. You can't have too many stars that you can't control that are in the sales force. So concentration of risk is very important, whether it's key employees, vendors, or customers. And it's the same thing with the product line. It has to be deep enough so people know what you are known for, but yet have enough diversity so people are always getting new product, new services, because the old stuff can change based on consumer tastes and needs.
Mm.
So it's just interesting that if you manage your assets correctly, manage your risk correctly, understand the industry trends and your place among your competitors in terms of your uniqueness, you'll always do well because you're planning to go in the right direction to execute it according to a plan.
Mm.
So that's my key takeaway. And the books that I would read is The Alchemist, because it's all based on opportunity, reading the omens, seeing the signs, reading the room, and then revise your plan accordingly to meet the challenges of COVID or whatever crisis, comes up. And then, of course, from good to great is great because you got to be better than good. You have to be known for what you're known for. So reading the 7 Habits of Successful People is good. And the last thing is the go-givers. If you network properly within your industry, whether it's the conferences, your trade association, by networking, you fall into opportunities with people for joint ventures. So in order to get, you must give. And when you receive, that's the networking where you go into joint venturing with people because you trust each other. Trust is very important within the same industry. And everybody needs friends within the same industry in case there's any type of joint venturing they need to do or some type of an association they want, whether it's a customer, a supplier, or a competitor.
Mm.
And those are my takeaways.
Awesome, Gil. You have a great deal of experience and awesome takeaways that are really straight to the point. So thank you for gathering those and polishing them up so you can deliver to the audience. I highly appreciate that. If people wanted to learn a little bit more about you or your business, where could they go and how could they engage with you? What type of businesses are you looking to connect with?
Okay, my specialty is manufacturing and distributing. Anything that could be made or distributed. It could be beverages, it could be home furnishing, it could be apparel, it could be business to business equipment like dyes, molds. So my whole business is business to business, consulting and valuations. And a lot of the work that I lead to is exit planning. At some point, you need to exit your business for succession planning. So I help companies prepare over a 3-year period in 90-day modules of correcting any systemic problems they have within their business. It's addressing the strengths to make sure they keep strong, mitigating the weaknesses where they have outside firms helping them if they can't do it internally, and basically just managing their business better to meet their objectives and to meet their expectations.
And how could they find out more about you?
Okay. You email me at Gil at weissac.com, or you could reach me at Gil Ostrick, Ostrick, at gmail.com. The telephone number is the same for both, 310 area code, 877-9275. You could also visit me on LinkedIn. I have a
LinkedIn.
profile on LinkedIn as well.
All right, Gil. Well, again, thank you so much for your time and for sharing this abundance of of information that people can take and really amplify, make sure that they're keeping the eye on the prize and really taking the right actions to get the results they're looking for. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ken. I appreciate it as well.
To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.